Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the Business End podcast. I'm your host, Lawrence Stanley, and alongside me, we're unchanged once again for the second episode. To my right, I have Matt Daly. To my left, I have Liam Hale, and opposite me, I have Jake Alvarez, and to the right of him is Rowan Lee. And we're good to go. We're ready to go for the second one. 47 minutes more experience than we were last time. And we're just going to continue talking about sport once again, because that's all we can do. That's all we know. So, let's just do that. And I thought we might as well start, gentlemen. Oh, yeah, by the way, Drake's with us as well. We haven't forgot about him, we promise.
Still locked in the other room. Yeah.
We will get him in here, we promise. I thought we'd just start once again, fellas, by talking about the matches that we previewed on Friday. Manchester United against Arsenal, Liverpool, West Ham, Aston Villa, Southampton, Leeds against Leicester. And I suppose we might as well start with the big game of the weekend, even though it wasn't the best one.
Villa, Southampton first, or?
No, I mean I've got Man United, Arsenal written down here, right. So we'll start with that.
Big clubs, okay?
Well, it certainly wasn't a good result for your lot, Liam. Let's put it that way.
It wasn't.
And it wasn't a great game, was it?
It was absolutely...
Further evidence that this fixture is not the same as it used to be.
Oh, it was absolutely diabolical. Absolutely shocking. I mean, 1-0 for Arsenal.
Can we give Arsenal some credit, though? I thought they were brilliant.
I mean, Aubameyang was good.
I just thought Arsenal as a team, they did what... going to Old Trafford, getting up... It's I know it's more a bit of a cliche, but it's still not an easy place to go to, is it? Despite your...
Old Trafford, where United haven't won all season? Yeah, that's a scary place to come.
No, if you put it back to last season, if you go last 12 months, your home record is still pretty good.
I mean, you did also beat Leipzig 5-0 4 days earlier, so...
Yeah, but it's Leipzig and Arsenal are two different sides.
Yeah, Leipzig are much better.
Are they?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say they are, yeah.
I mean, Leipzig's 50-goal-a-season striker's now at Chelsea. Arsenal still got theirs, and he's just signed a new contract and scored on the weekend. I mean...
But I'm pretty sure 3 days ago we were all saying that Aubameyang hasn't scored since his new contract. And his only goal was against Fulham, who I'm pretty sure I could score against.
Leipzig,
I mean, they won.
Leipzig are in the Champions League, though.
Yeah.
Arsenal aren't.
Yeah, because it's harder.
They beat Atletico Madrid without Werner last season.
But it's easier to get in the Champions League places in the Bundesliga than it is for Arsenal in the Premier League.
I don't know. I just want to give...
Anyway, I think we should get... I think we just need to give Arsenal a bit of credit. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, you make excuses
as much as Manchester United were poor, I think we've got to give Arsenal a bit more.
Yeah, Mo Elneny, how well did he play?
Do you know who really impressed me was Thomas Partey? He was incredible. He had an amazing game.
Should he have been man of the match?
I wouldn't say man of the match.
I think Elneny deserves to be man. I don't know if he was, but for me, he's my man of the match.
It's amazing that he's come back from a year at Besiktas, was it, last season?
Yeah,
I think so.
And now he's a starter for Arsenal.
I mean, Partey,
instead of us.
Yeah.
Partey against United had the most touches, most duels won, most ball recoveries, most take-ons completed, and the second most tackles made. What more do you want from a midfielder?
Most tackles made.
Maybe score a few goals,
not
but it's not really his
penalty.
job, is it? Yeah.
Oh. What did you think of Pogba's performance?
I was absolutely fuming at the end of the game, but when he come out and spoke to the press, he said he holds his hands up, and he blamed it down to tiredness. That was the reason.
I mean, that's shocking. That really.
I mean,
was it fireworks night where it was?
You're a Premier League footballer, a midfielder, box to box, and you're tired 70 minutes in.
Can I play devil's advocate a bit? He has just recovered from COVID-19.
So has Ronaldo. He scored 2.
That is true.
Ronaldo is a much better player than Paul Pogba.
I mean, yeah, but Pogba hasn't just recovered. Ronaldo has just recovered. He bangs 2 in.
I think Pogba gets a lot of, bad press. To be fair, I
think a lot of that bad press is undeserved for me. I think because of the fanfare around him signing for 90 million, winning a World Cup, I think people expect a bit too much from him. I think he needs help from his teammates a bit more than he gets.
What do you mean expect too much from him? The guy costs 90 million.
I know that's my thing.
He's
Like,
only had one game with which he's grabbed it by the balls.
And that was against City.
That was against City, and when he does it, they're good.
Like, can you seriously tell me 5 games? Like, give me 5 games where Pogba was the best player on the pitch.
France in the World
For
Cup.
Manchester United.
For United, is that more down to the system he's playing in though than
But
Paul Pogba
the guy
himself?
costs 90 million, and it's also a
Yeah,
manager's
is it
job
his
to
fault that he costs 90 million though?
But it's his fault that he's not playing good in the pitch.
But it's like Matt said the other week. You know, Paul Pogba's playing with like Scott McTominay, for example, for Man United, but then for France, he's playing with Kante. You know, I mean, like 2 completely different players on different levels as well. Kante's world class. Scott McTominay is, in my opinion, average. To be honest with you, I don't think he's that great.
But then
he's a good player, but he's not world class.
You do need to take the role of I am going to play today. I'm going to play very well.
Yeah.
In Pogba's sense, you can't just have game by game going by past him and saying, you know what, he's 90 million. He did all right, but he needs to be having the performances that he does for France.
Yeah.
Like 90 million is a lot of money. You should be playing well with 90 million.
For me, for both parties, I think he has to go next summer.
That's what I was going to
He has to go.
Most importantly, he needs to be the standout midfielder, because last season United fans were saying, "Oh, McTominay's excellent, Fred's good."
Yeah,
hang on a sec, you've got a £90 million. He was in the team of the season. Sorry, FIFA Team of the Year. 5 years ago?
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
And I mean, this is going to boost Jake's ego, but Jack Grealish has got John McGinn and Conor Houlihan alongside him, and he looks like one of the best players in the league. And they're not as good as Scott McTominay or Bruno Fernandes. So why isn't Pogba doing it?
Well, I mean, going back to the Arsenal game though, the other day. I mean, looking at the stats, Manchester United 53% possession, Arsenal 47 attempts, Man United 8, Arsenal 7, and then both teams had 2 shots on target. I mean, that is like an incredibly close game, really. Man United, I mean, yes, they're over Arsenal in possession, but they didn't really do a lot with it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
If you look at
threat-wise, they're not. They're not really. They didn't really pose much of a threat, really.
But as a United fan, I'm sick of clubs coming to Old Trafford, which, when in the Ferguson era, was you wouldn't come to Old Trafford and win. You'd be lucky to come there. Now we got teams like Brighton coming to Old Trafford and absolutely steamrolling us. Like, that shouldn't be happening.
If you look at Palace, was it your first game of the season, I think?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Like,
Zaha tore you apart.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be happening at Old
Won
Trafford.
there last season as well, Palace, didn't they?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Van Aanholt winner.
So you can't even say it's just because we've got no fans, because they did it last season. Old Trafford's not the place. Like, as a Villa fan, okay, Villa aren't as good as, say, Liverpool, but as a Villa fan, do you really fear going away at Old Trafford as much as you would have 10 years ago?
No.
Exactly.
I'd say we could easily get a point against
Exactly.
Old Trafford. I mean, we did last season when we were dreadful.
They're certainly not the team they used to be, Man United, are they?
No, and I'm not saying it's down to Ollie, because it's not. It's upstairs.
Well, as much as I would love to keep talking about this, we can talk about Man United's problems another day, because we must move on. We're going to do this quickfire, these reviews, and we are going to move on next to Liverpool against West Ham, which was it was an interesting one. I'll come to you, Rowan, being the Liverpool fan. Certainly weren't at their best, but got over the line.
Managed to get over the line again. I think Nat Phillips coming in at the back was.
Yeah.
I think he played a brilliant performance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Matt mentioned him last week.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, he did. To be honest with you, I didn't actually expect him to play. I didn't think he would play today against West Ham. I thought Williams would play, but yeah, I was very impressed with his performance. I thought he was brilliant. Again, Diego Jota coming on for Firmino. Brilliant player.
Should he start?
See, I think he should. I mean, Jota's scored 3 goals in 5 Premier League appearances this season, whereas Firmino has scored 1 in 7 Premier League appearances.
Tyrone Mings has more goals than Firmino.
Well, exactly that. So, in my opinion, as a fan, I would at this moment in time, going on form, I would definitely start Diego Jota over Firmino.
But then I feel like if you started Jota instead of Firmino, okay, Firmino doesn't get the goals, but I feel like he is the main guy of that front three. Like, he's the one who puts all of it together for Mane and Salah. And I feel like if you took Firmino away from that, there wouldn't be as many goals for the other two.
If you're saying that last season, I'd agree with you. But this season, I don't even think
he hasn't been great
He's not
this
been
season.
that good, but you saw at West Ham, they had a 5-4-1. They had the two centre midfielders just shielding Firmino. The balls weren't going into him, and he was having to drop so deep onto the halfway line sometimes just to get the ball. Obviously, he's not had the same effect as he had. I mean, the miss against Midtjylland just shows how out of form he is in front of the goal.
Yeah, it's true.
But then again, when you have at least two people on you at all times, is compared to, let's just be honest, when Liverpool were free flowing and he was scoring 20 goals in that season, it was counter-attack football. Now Liverpool have just got the ball all the time.
Yeah.
It's much harder for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Firmino's been subbed off 6 times in the Premier League this season, though. So that I mean, what does that tell you? Jurgen Klopp.
He's being nullified.
I feel like you need a different option, and Hotter is that option. Like, just to run in behind at times. Just to kind of stretch the defence.
Yeah, he does give a different dimension, really.
Well, I think that's why Minamino hasn't been excellent as well, because Klopp likes him in the same role as Firmino. But I think teams know that if you can get that false 9 covered, you are taking away quite a big part of Liverpool's attack, because Curtis Jones, who played against West Ham, Henderson, they're not going to be finding those perfect passes. And the player that did at the end was Shaqiri, who came off the bench, and he's another.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Shaqiri played well.
Yeah. I feel like we have to talk about Mo Salah, and obviously once again his
antics.
Antics a bit. Antics in quotations. You know, do we all think it was a penalty?
Yeah, he's been kicked.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, David Moyes seemed very
but
upset
David Moyes
about
is
it.
David Moyes.
I watched the highlights again.
Yeah.
Rough before we started this, and I'm still thinking it's a clear penalty. Like, that's
I
United
do
fans
think it's a
saying that.
pen.
The guy's got his back to the player. He turns him and goes down. It's a penalty.
What Masuaki was doing, I have no idea. He's trying to clear. He's not trying to clear the ball. He's just trying to clear Salah out of the way.
But we're going to come on to this later, but there's a clear difference between what A-Link did, which is no contact at all, and then what Salah did, where there is contact.
Yeah, I mean, Salah... Yeah, I mean, it was a penalty, to be honest with you.
Right.
I can't understand anyone who says it's not a penalty, because the law states, you know, if you kick an opponent, foul him in the area, it's a penalty. And that's what Masuaku did. He kicked Salah in the back of the leg, back of the feet. He goes down. Yes, you could argue he goes down. It could be a soft penalty, but it's still a penalty. A penalty is a penalty at the end of the day.
I mean, there's a difference between going down, like Jake said, there's a difference between going down in the box with no contact and going down in the box with minimum contact. Any player, and I can speak for this as a guy who plays football, if I'm in the box and you clip me, I'm going to go down.
Go down, yeah.
That's just how it is.
Would Salah have got the penalty if he didn't go down there?
No,
that's the problem.
But refs look for the player to go down, don't they?
Yeah.
Because a ref doesn't want to look like a fool and make a mistake.
I think, did Alan Shearer say this in Match of the Day? Like, we need to have fouls given with players staying on the feet. That's the only way you're changing it.
Yeah. But then again, it just sort of looks wrong.
But then if Salah did go down and didn't get the penalty, would he have dived? Would that have been a dive? Yeah.
Well,
There's
it's
still
certainly
contact,
debatable, isn't
whether it's
it?
penalty or not.
It's
really.
so debatable. We have this debate every year, don't we? Players
every
going down.
week, really.
In my opinion, if there's a foul in the box, no matter what it is, it's got to be a penalty. You've got to think, if it was outside the box, it would have been a free kick. So if it's inside the box, it has to be a penalty. It's as simple as that.
Just a quick word on West Ham before we move on.
Well, they play pretty well.
Things are going all right over there.
Fornals is really impressive. He's playing really well.
They're going to struggle without Antonio, because if Haller can't get the better of Nat Phillips...
I thought he was poor. Haller was shocking, to be honest with you. I mean...
They had chances to even score 2 or 3.
Yeah, but he didn't even attempt to go for the ball half the time.
No.
You know, like you said, Nat Phillips just bossed him around. I mean, you know... I thought it was just bewildering, to be fair.
I think West Ham will have a good season. Then they'll be mid-table.
West Ham. I feel like West Ham's problem is in midfield. I mean, they created 4 chances all game. Like, how do you expect to stay up with only 4 chances?
Who did they bring off the bench? They bring on Lanzini and Benrahma.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Ben Rama would fix that, wouldn't he? But if you have Ben Rama in your team, you create chances, aren't you?
I mean,
and Yarmolenko.
They loaned out Felipe Anderson, who's a very creative player.
That was absolutely. I was bemused by that. He's arguably their best player.
Well, they loaned him out so they can bring in Ben Rama, didn't they?
Yeah, but I reckon.
If they didn't loan out Felipe Anderson, they wouldn't have been able to afford the wages of Ben Rama.
But Felipe Anderson's better than Ben Rama. Like, there's Yarmolenko. I feel like would have been a better.
2-3 years ago would have agreed with, but not last season.
No, he was poor last season, but I still think he's a better player. I mean, you've got Snodgrass somewhere in the team.
Yeah.
Just get rid of him.
Yeah.
Whoa, no Snodgrass standard, please.
Well,
quality lad.
that moves us nicely on to Snodgrass's former club, Aston Villa, who lost 4-3 against Southampton.
I think we should give the floor to Jake for this one.
I mean, was it a classic though? I mean, I know it's 7 goals, but it looks good. But 2 of Villa's goals were scored in stoppage time, and like, how much should we read into that? I know you want to talk about the expected goals, Jake. I mean, 2.45 for Villa, 1 for Southampton. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't fully understand it, but all I see is that Southampton absolutely whacked them in the first half, and then Villa just left it too late to come back.
There was 3-0 up at half time.
They were, but 2 of those goals were world-class free kicks.
But he shouldn't have been fouled so near for the free kicks to happen.
Yeah, he was naive. I'll give you that.
I think one of the free kicks though. I think it was the second free kick. Matty Cash, silly handball. I mean, what is he?
Superb Maradona impression.
What's he thinking? Lifting his arm up like that, and it just smacks him on the hand, and it's just a.
Well, if he doesn't do that, Walcott's clean from goal and probably scores anyway. To be fair to Matty Cash.
Oh, you think Walcott's going to finish a chance?
There's a reason he's left Arsenal, gone Everton, and now Southampton.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But as a United fan, I feel like I'm the king of picking out defensive mistakes. So Matty Cash shouldn't have been handling the ball there in the first place.
No. And for their first goal, why do you have John McGinn? He's about 5'5", marking Jan Vestergaard. He's what, 6'5", 6'6".
Doesn't Dean Smith like zonal instead of man to man?
That's where the issue comes in. Like you obviously can't blame John McGinn. He's been tasked with being next to Vestergaard. There's no way he's going to win a header against him. I think zonal marking, a lot said about it. I feel like there is good things you can say about zonal marking. You're covering space, aren't you? If the ball goes into an area, you got a player there, you clear it. But when you got a set piece taker as good as James Ward-Prowse on the pitch for the opposition, I feel like you have to switch up and just go man to man.
I will say with zonal marking though, wasn't it 3-4 years ago? Liverpool were conceding a goal from a corner every single match because of zonal marking.
I don't like zonal marking.
Since they stopped zonal marking, yes, obviously this season they haven't been the best in the back, but they don't concede that much from set plays anymore.
Yeah, I'd rather Villa have man to man defend on set plays.
I mean,
if it wasn't for zonal marking, you wouldn't be having a 5'5" man on a 6'7" like Vestergaard.
Yeah.
Who's Villa's defensive coach? John Terry.
John Terry.
You think the greatest defender in Premier League history would say to Dean Smith, "Listen, zonal marking's not really working here. Let's maybe try man to man."
Yeah.
Are you getting concerned at all? Should Villa fans be concerned?
You are sliding down the table.
Well, considering we were second, sort of bound to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, you shouldn't be worried at this stage. If we lose our next 3, then be worried.
I would be worried after the game the other day. I mean, Villa had 19 attempts on goal. Southampton had 9. And
I feel that's you can swing that into a positive thing for Villa, there, can you? Like, we're creating chances.
But
we scored 3 goals.
I mean, after Southampton went 4-0 up, the game.
Obviously,
the game
that
was
changed the game.
Okay. But IU scores 4-1.
I'll say this:
they're good enough to defend.
Villa aren't going to come up against 2 teams that work as hard on and off the ball as Southampton and Leeds this season.
I mean, I've just seen a stat that shocked me, and Southampton have had 32 clearances in that game.
Yeah.
To Villa's 3.
Well, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
they get
Vestergaard and Bednarek exit at the back. I think.
I think it's just Hasenhüttl's. That's just his management view, though. Like,
I like they clear the ball so much because they do play out from the back as well.
Yeah.
But it's not the. Who was it? Burnley trying to play out from the back. West Brom trying to play out from the back a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they're not just aimlessly trying to pass it. Yeah. They do understand that they've got 2 good runners up front in Danny Ings and Che Adams, that they will chase the ball.
For me, it's just how Southampton and Leeds play. It just doesn't suit how Villa play at all. Because Villa like to kind of sit back and counter-attack. Leeds and the Southampton, they get at you, they press high. And then when teams are pressing high against you, you're going to make mistakes and you're not going to counter-attack as effectively, are you? Yeah. So I just think the playing styles of Leeds and Southampton were like, they won them. That's why they won the game.
I mean, I have to say, though, Southampton have actually been brilliant, to be fair, so far. I mean, Danny Ings, his career's just revived.
What a goal!
Yeah, I know. Going to Southampton, it's sort of like he's reborn again. Like you said, Liam, what a goal!
Of course, James Ward-Prowse turns into David Beckham against Villa. Of course.
Well, I think that's a bit unfair saying, of course, it's against Villa because he scored an excellent free kick last season against United at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
that was a beauty as well.
Excellent free kick against Tottenham. Last season. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
It's just that I think in the past year he's 26, and I think some people still see him as a young player actually, but he just needs to be consistently performing.
Yeah.
Because he on his day he is a very, very good midfielder.
Do you think he could get an England squad?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, he's already made a few starts for England.
He's getting into the England squad, but I think he is maybe what we can have in midfield starting. If we're going to go with a 3 in midfield,
I think for England you need a 6, an 8, and a 10, don't you? I think James Ward-Prowse can be that 8.
So what would your 3 be then? Rice,
Ward-Prowse, Grealish, or Henderson, Ward-Prowse, Grealish.
I'd have Henderson in there. He's a leader.
Loss,
to be fair.
Henderson, Ward-Prowse, Grealish. Then?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? The final match that we previewed, Leeds against Leicester. Leicester,
what a game!
Handing out a bit of a reality check, you might say, to Leeds, 4-1. I'm going to be honest. I was just happy to see Maurizio Pochettino on Monday Night Football.
He's not giving
that was an absolute. That was amazing.
I love him.
I'm not a fan of his beard, I'll be honest.
He said he's not going to cut his hair or shave until he gets a job.
Great hair, though. Isn't
Well, if United lose in the week, you have a shave on Friday.
I've seen it on Twitter. Everybody's calling for Poch now.
Loving the trim.
I think he's going to go Barca.
Well, he said that his football holidays. He said his holiday's over now. He wants to go back into management.
Can we just sack Southgate tomorrow and hire Pochettino for England?
Nah, because I'm pretty sure Beckham's still part of the England setup somehow, isn't it?
He's got his finger in every pie, hasn't he?
But as for the game itself, Leicester just keep on going, don't they?
They do.
Blew them away, didn't they?
We all think Leicester are good enough for top 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
without a doubt.
I said last week if Leicester can get on the counter attack against Leeds, who do push up who push up, they'll be fine. They've got Vardy, they've got Cengiz Under, who's very quick as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a great signing, another assist yesterday. Leicester did have enough.
Yeah. I'm loving that Harvey Barnes, Jamie Vardy partnership up top as well. They work very well together.
Who really impressed me, and he has done since he signed for him, is James Maddison. His touch from that, I think it was the third goal, Vardy's second.
Yeah.
What a touch. That's one of the best touches I've ever seen. He brought the ball down so smoothly, he just popped off to under like he does it every week.
I have to say, though, for all Leicester's brilliant play, Leeds were awful in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, the defensively was shot. I mean, I think it was Koch gives the ball
like
to Jamie Vardy,
nature.
who finds Harvey Barnes, makes it 1-0. I mean, he literally did. He literally did cock it up.
I mean, we say about, I remember we talked about it last week. I can't remember if he's on the podcast or not. When we said that strikers like Ronaldo and Messi, they're so unselfish in front of goal. Vardy passed into Barnes, he could have scored. That just shows how good Jamie Vardy is.
They're all on the same wavelength, aren't they? They're brilliant. They're one of the best teams to watch counter-attacking.
Can we bring it back to James Maddison for a second?
Yeah.
I actually don't think the way Leicester play suits them. I think it'd be much more suited to a team like Spurs. I'm not saying he should move, but the way Leicester plays is going to be more counter-attack based this season.
Don't you think he's good on the counter, though?
I think he is, but I think, is he quick enough?
Yeah,
I think he is.
I think he's...
I think James Maddison's going to be more suited to a team that play possession football. Can he play that sort of possession football with Leicester this season?
I mean, it's working for him. Since he come from Norwich, he's been absolutely amazing.
No, for me, if he goes to teams, say just Man United, Tottenham, for example, that would have more of the ball, can he be even more effective and even better as a player?
I think at the moment he works very well in their midfield. And Tielemans, next to Tielemans, he's excellent.
Yeah, Tielemans is amazing, and he has been for I remember.
Scored 2 last night, didn't he?
Yeah, Football Manager. He was one of them ones you had to sign when he's at the Anderlecht. He went to Monaco, didn't work out for him.
£35 million to sign for.
Yeah.
I know last season Leicester fans were saying he's playing a bit too deep, Maddison, in their midfield there.
Yeah.
They should have been playing further forward.
They've got options though. That's the thing. Like they have got options though, Leicester, and that's what's brilliant. You've got Maddison on the bench who can come up.
Then you got Dennis Pratt, who was very good last night.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I've noticed about Leicester as well, if they need a goal, they somehow get it. Like 9 times out of 10, it's Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
But then it's Maddison 1 minute, it's under the next. Like they always manage to find that goal.
When Vardy was out last season, Ian Atchers grabbed a few goals.
Exactly.
I mean, he's still. I'm not saying he's he's not a good striker, but he can grab a goal and play that system very well.
I remember when it was Ian Nacho played for City, and it was who's better, Ian Nacho or Rashford.
To be fair, I remember when it used to be who's better, Sterling or Januzaj.
Sterling and Jordan Ive.
Oh yeah,
Sterling.
So I think taking a victory against Ian Nacho when you got to take the loss for Januzaj.
I've got a friend and he's a Liverpool fan, massive Liverpool fan. And I remember when they sold Sterling to City, he turned to me and went, "It's okay, we've got Jordan Ive."
Well, to be fair though, watching Leicester last night though, I briefly forgot that they sold Maguire for 80 million and Chilwell for 50 million.
And then Evans both went back.
Yeah, but the thing is though, you watch them and it's like, they didn't even need them anyway. If anything, they're actually
Pereira was also injured.
Well, exactly. They're arguably, especially centre backs, are arguably doing better without Maguire.
Like,
I just think it's a brilliant bit of business from Leicester, really.
If you look at their sorry to interrupt, but if you look at their defensive line last night, Castagne's the only one that gets into their best 11, all the rest are injured.
What I would say about Leicester is selling Maguire for 80 million and then signing Wesley Fofana was an incredible bit of business again by Leicester, and Leicester just seemed to find they sold Mahrez and they've somehow replaced him with somebody who's not quite on his level, but the team are better now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just quickly on Leeds before we wrap up these reviews. Sorry, do we expect too much of them in terms of the way they started the season and the reputation that they had coming up? And now, whenever they lose, it kind of feels like it's disappointing. When in reality, they're not going to be judged with matches against teams like Leicester. Do you think that the media have hyped them up?
I think they
played
played well in the second half last night. They came out in the second half and played really well, I feel.
Well, the media has hyped them up, but let's just remember their first 2 games they conceded 4 and 3. They know they have a weakness in defence.
Yeah.
Again, Pat Bamford could have scored a hat-trick last night, but his finishing is hot and cold.
But then I think that's again, not to keep on about them, but I feel like it was the header from Bamford and Leicester got the other end and score. That's just what Leicester do.
Yeah.
That's Leicester's bread and butter.
But any Premier League striker, that header is bread and butter. If you don't score that, you shouldn't be a Premier League striker.
I mean, we said last week Leeds will be mid-table this season. Yeah. They won't do anything special.
They're mid-table. I think we're just hyping it up. The media's hyping it up because it's Leeds. They
and
used to be very good.
And because Bielsa, yeah.
Did you? I seen a picture on Twitter of Bielsa in the tunnel, on his hands and knees. Not his hands and knees, but crouched down, crying because he was disappointed he had it wrong. But that happens. That's the Premier League. Like we say that anyone can beat anyone.
Stuart Dallas got his first Premier League goal last night as well.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel like fair play to him. It's a pretty good goal as well. To be fair,
he's in my FPL.
Yeah. And then Pablo Hernandez hitting the crossbar as well in the second half. Yeah. I mean, so they did play well in the second half. I'll give them that.
I like Helder Costa too. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Well, he was at Wolves, didn't quite fit in there as much, but gone to Leeds and kind of revitalised his career.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just Bielsa again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that wraps up all the matches. Nicely done, fellas. We're now going to switch it up. We're going to switch it up to the women's game. I bet you were surprised to hear that, weren't you? Well, I hope you guys weren't, because we need to talk about it. But for the viewers, we see the women's game. We see the growth and the potential. So yeah, we thought we'd talk about the women's FA Cup final that happened. Man City women beating Everton 3-1 at Wembley. It's a bit of a confusing one because obviously that was last season's FA Cup that they were wrapping up. So Yeah, but I believe it was the 50th one, wasn't it? The Women's FA Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can certainly say it's come a long way since the first, 10th, 25th, and all that. It's just it's growing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good,
football.
isn't it? Yes, it's great to see, really. It's what football's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
brilliant.
The WSL itself, like we've seen Rose Val, like what a player.
Yeah,
Like she's come over from America to play in England.
Yeah, a lot of the players. I mean, Lyon are one of the best teams.
Yeah.
I think the best team in Europe or the world.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
won,
yeah,
like,
a lot
yeah,
of-
3-4 Champions League,
We're
haven't they?
taking a lot of the WSL is taking a lot of players from the best teams around Europe.
Yeah.
Man City, Man United as well.
yeah, it's certainly
Chelsea.
growing, isn't
I
it?
think Man United also bringing in a women's team was 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's big for the sport. You got one of the biggest institutes in football, and now they only just make a women's team.
Yeah.
It annoyed me because I almost felt not ashamed, but like a little bit embarrassed that United took so long to get a women's team when like Arsenal's women's team and Chelsea's were absolutely dominating the WSL.
Yeah.
And it took United so long.
I know this ain't about the actual match, but I think one of the biggest things as well with women's football was it used to be played during the summer, and then in the 16-17 season, I think they changed it up to run alongside with the men's season. They had a summer series, a spring series where there was no rights for broadcasting, and whoever was at the game could just broadcast it, live stream it onto the website, and that brought in a lot more viewers as well.
Yeah.
So they got a lot more eyes on it now because they're alongside the men. And a Bristol City fan, the women play at Bristol City, play at Ashton Gate. I'm pretty sure other teams have women.
Villa women's play at Warsaw.
Well, the finals at Wembley,
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium. The FA Cup finals at Wembley
It's
the other
now
day. So.
it's now at Wembley where
Yeah.
it used to not be. It's a growing sport. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can get more sponsors into it, I think it's obviously not going to be like the men's.
Well, you've obviously got it on BT now, haven't you?
You've got-
So you can watch it on
Well,
BT.
My friend was saying to me yesterday, I'm not going to say his name, but he was saying the quality's not the same as the men. But do you really expect it to be?
Not good.
No, not this.
Like, I mean, just men physically, like this is factual. Like they're going to be taller than women, and they're going to be able to run quicker than women because they're taller.
But
That's just a fact.
I remember watching the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, and I was really impressed by it. I actually enjoyed it.
The way that I saw it, when I tried to explain it to someone before, was the men's game went professional in the 1890s, was it?
Yeah,
The women's Super League became professional in 2001.
exactly.
So you've got over
Yeah.
100 years.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to make up 100 years. In 100 years' time, it's not going to be where it is now. But in that's a massive gap to have the same amount of skill.
I think it's a lot slower, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Like
Well,
it's more tactical, it's more technical.
I think going back to the FA Cup though, the other day, the FA Cup final. Man City have won that 3 times now, the FA Cup, and they only turned professional in the build-up to the 2014 summer season.
Mhm.
So I mean that's pretty good, really.
Well, they've pumped a lot of money into it, haven't they, Man City?
yeah, but that's great to see though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's not just the men's team that have been successful; it's the women's team as well. I mean their 3rd FA Cup trophy adds to 3 League Cups and the 2016 League Champions Cup as well. So they've done really well.
I'm not too knowledgeable about this, but I know that they obviously women's football only went fully professional 10 years ago. I think the majority of the teams in the league.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Bristol City women's, they still get players from the college academy that they used to play at to play for them.
Yeah.
So they're still getting 17, 18-year-olds turning up for the season and playing for them, not as professional footballers.
Yeah. No, it's good that.
So as long as they can get full professionals,
Yeah.
I think that'll be a massive
I
progress.
know in America
definitely.
the women's game's almost seen as more important than the men's game.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's good. It's good growth. Yeah.
You just gonna. I think you just hope that it doesn't get left behind with the current situation. All that with obviously funds. We hear about the England men's futsal team and all that being the funds being cut. You just hope that for the women's game, you're right.
Taking off
You-
coat there.
You just hope that it doesn't get left behind or like stutters because of the current situation. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to see, and it's certainly not the last time we'll talk about the women's game. That's for sure. But no, I thought we might as well deviate into other sports. Have a few things written down here. I know, Rowan, you like your boxing.
Yeah.
Saturday night, Alexander Usyk.
Usyk. Yeah.
Usyk, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Defeating Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch it but I heard it was a bit of a mauling, was it?
Yeah.
Chisora?
I mean, there was loads of hype, rightly so, going in to this fight, especially with it being on Halloween as well. It was all sort of that sort of
wearing
feeling.
masks at the weigh-ins.
Yeah. Derek Chisora turned up. What did he have, like face paint on or something like? So, yeah. But with the fight, I mean, Usyk just showed. He's an Olympic champion. And he just showed his quality. Do you
think Usyk could be a big threat to Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, I do, to be fair. Really? I mean, I think, yeah, I do. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz.
I mean, I feel like...
So, why not Usyk?
I mean, I feel like in the heavyweight boxing world, AJ and now Fury, I feel like they're almost like that, not at the same level athletically, don't get me wrong, but in football where there's like your Neymars, your Messis, your Neymars, your Mbappes, then there's Messi, Ronaldo, they're like that upper tier. I feel like AJ and Fury and maybe Wilder are at that level.
Yeah.
And then you've got your Chisora are like the level below. I don't think they'll ever reach the same levels.
Yeah, I
AJ.
agree.
I've known boxing though, it's like because one punch in boxing changes everything.
Yeah.
So like it's not, you can't really compare it to football in a way.
Yeah, but I mean like the heaviest hitter in the boxing world, Deontay Wilder, couldn't knock out Tyson Fury. Like there's just some people who are just, they like being hit. They can.
It's because like you said, it's because he's a heavy hitter though. Whereas Tyson Fury is a boxer.
That's
like his technique is just like world class compared to Wilder. Like you said, he just swings punches. He doesn't. He's not like. He's not great to watch technically.
No, but he has that one hit that he hits you, you're going down.
Yeah. Usyk very much wants a title shot now, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Usyk. Yeah, Usyk performed very well.
I think he deserves one as well. I know it kind of upsets the Fury AJ fight that everyone in the UK wants.
Yeah.
I mean, he deserves one.
While we're on the subject of boxing, I think we can all say that we wish Pavek a speedy recovery after his positive COVID test.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't actually know that, to be honest. Is that just recent?
That was literally breaking news this morning.
Yeah, I saw that, Yeah, hopefully he gets better.
Well, what other fights should we be looking forward to then in the future?
I think isn't Fury fighting December?
Yeah.
So
I think so, yeah. I mean, and then next year...
And then you got Mike Tyson kind of semi coming out of
there's an
retirement.
exhibition match.
Oh, that's going to be incredible to watch.
Isn't that just like the Floyd Mayweather who's the UFC guy?
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
How old is Mike Tyson? He's got to be.
He's in good shape though, isn't he?
Yeah, have we seen the video of him punching a bag?
Yeah, but it's not a proper fight, is it? It's not.
No, it's an exhibition.
He's still absolutely flying with the punches, though. Like he's still got it.
Yeah, but you see like the friendly matches in football. You see like Oliver Bierhoff still good enough.
It's not like you're going to be up against like a current boxer that's going at it full time.
No, exactly.
So, what do you think then, guys? If it was Fury versus Tyson versus AJ, like Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury, who's winning that?
AJ.
AJ, definitely.
No, if you're on about Mike Tyson in his prime,
no,
obviously battle.
Oh no, like right now.
Right now.
AJ.
AJ.
Right.
It would be unfair.
Yeah,
it would be. Yeah.
We're talking about Mike Tyson, say 15, 20 years ago. It's obviously different. But...
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly one to keep an eye on, though, isn't it?
I do want to see the AJ Fury fight. Just hurry up.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I know.
I've been waiting
Seems to be
4 or 5
taking ages, doesn't it?
I don't know. Obviously, emotionally, we want it, but I think Usyk does deserve a chance before that fight happens.
I mean, after the other day's performance, Usyk.
I'd love to see Usyk versus Tyson.
I just want somebody, please, for the love of God, unite all the belts. It's doing my head now. Someone just take them.
Yeah.
I think Tyson will be the guy to do that.
Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
Well, we shall see.
I love Tyson Fury. He's so technically gifted as a boxer.
Yeah, he's class.
We shall see. Well, one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about, I love my cricket. I love a bit of cricket.
Yeah.
And Matt, I can see, I can tell, you're looking at the score from the IPL game right now, the Indian Premier League. I mean, that's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That has been a great tournament, hasn't it?
Yeah, it obviously got moved to later in the year, moved to Abu Dhabi as well because of the COVID. But it's been surprising, especially Rajasthan finishing bottom of the league. But at the moment, it's the last game of the group stages.
Yeah.
Hyderabad versus Mumbai. Hyderabad need to win to go through to the last 4. They're doing well at the moment, but
because that's like the biggest one, isn't it? Like the biggest T20 franchise. When you had the Big Bash in Australia and the Vitality Blast in England.
Yeah, it's the biggest one.
It's the one that has the most money to bring in all the international players. So that's the one that all cricket fans look forward to, isn't it?
As kind of like someone who's interested in cricket, but not kind of to the extent of you guys, kind of, can you explain like the format and kind of the players involved?
So, IPL, eight teams in the league. Each team plays each other twice. So you end up with 14 games. The top 2 from the group stages go to a semi-final qualifier. Whoever wins that game goes straight to the final. And then 3rd and 4th play each other. The winner of that plays against the loser of the first match. And that's the second semi-final. And then it goes to a final.
Okay.
You understand? And so it's obviously 11 players in a team. You can have 4 foreign players that aren't Indian. And it's just amazing. All the best players from around the world go play.
So, for example, some of the players are...
So, Rajasthan have got Steve Smith, Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, Tom Curran, AJ Tye.
Quality players, really.
And they finish bottom.
No, it's crazy, isn't it? Mad.
Especially, I mean, at the moment, first versus second is going to be excellent because it's pretty much South Africa against each other. Mumbai, they've got Quinton de Kock's their top run scorer this season. He's opener for South Africa in T20s and ODIs. When Delhi Capitals, they've got South Africa's premier pace bowlers in Rabada and Nortje.
So it's basically your Champions League of cricket, effectively, or...
Kind of, it's just the best team.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive one to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly the one that all cricket fans look forward to, that's for sure. What else? Has anyone got any other sports that they saw over the weekend that they want to...
Formula 1, Hamilton won again.
Yeah.
Formula 1 was a joke.
Why was it a joke then, Matt? Go on.
Right.
Explain.
Well,
Talk to us.
Mercedes won their 7th consecutive championship. That's all right. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hamilton deserved the win, but just the luck. People say you make your own luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's on his 3rd. He's on plan C for the race.
Yeah.
Basically, he's in the pits 10 laps later, and the exact time he's in the pits, a virtual safety car comes out, slows everyone down, and he remains 5-6 seconds ahead of Bottas and Verstappen, who, if it wasn't a VSC, would have been at least half a second behind.
But again, to play devil's advocate though, if you look a few weeks ago, Hamilton has a few penalties. He doesn't win the race because of that. Like, what goes around comes around, pretty much.
I mean, you don't win 6 titles and it'll be a 7th in next week in Turkey without being a very good driver.
Yeah.
But also just the unluck that Bottas has had in the past few years, like he's winning the race, and you find out how big part of the Ferrari wing stuck under his floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That slows him down.
Like, how unlucky has Verstappen been this season?
Verstappen's retired from all 3 races in Italy this season. Yes.
Verstappen, I do like Verstappen though. I think he's got.
He's a future world champion.
I think.
For sure.
Definitely.
Personally,
yeah,
I think he's the best driver on the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see what Alex Albon's done in the Red Bull as well. He's half a second off every qualifying to Verstappen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, Pierre Gasly, what a man. he did retire, but driver of the season, AlphaTauri have been excellent.
What happened with George Russell as well?
Oh, George Russell, running 10th, about to get his first point in Formula 1.
Yeah.
And then during the safety car, spins out.
Oh.
Spins out when he's just trying to warm up the tyres, like in every race. Hits the throttle too hard, flies into the barrier.
So unlucky.
Yeah.
But
thankfully he's okay though.
Thankfully he's okay. Emotionally, hopefully he is, because you can see the images. He was just slumped on the side of the track, just looking dejected.
I saw Hamilton commented on his Instagram as well. It's quite nice to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect there, which is nice.
I mean, I know we're talking about F1, but to bring it back to football, I want to talk about something potentially controversial if we got time.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Ryan Giggs situation that's going on?
Oh, that's breaking news, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it was
like-
in the last few hours.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it? Yeah, a few hours
Not
ago.
enough.
We'll have to say there's no
information.
evidence of it so far, so like we can't say that it's confirmed or
There's
anything.
got to be meat though. There's got
Yeah.
to be meat to the story because obviously
He's been
There's
charged.
no smoke
with,
without fire.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been charged with actual bodily harm, which is that's the biggest offence you can have assault wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I know he's missing the next month of Wales fixtures.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see who's going to take over.
He's
Well,
had previous
like-
with it. I don't know, like the sleeping with his brother's wife, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
G word.
Allegedly.
He
Yeah.
has been in the news before, but. Yeah.
But I mean, do you think he should be sacked?
If it's true, then
Yeah,
yeah.
too early
if it's
to tell.
true, he
Yeah.
shouldn't have a job in football for a very
Yeah.
long time.
Who do you think should be the Wales manager? Craig Bellamy?
I'll be honest.
Interesting.
Since Chris Coleman left, they put in a man that had 4 matches managerial experience. Like they could probably get, I don't know, who's a good Welsh player from back in the day? Robert Earnshaw, why not?
Robbie Savage.
Yeah. Right, he's at Macclesfield now, isn't he?
I think. Do you think that with the thing that's happened with Ryan Giggs, do you think that's his chances of being Sir Alex Ferguson's replacement done?
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think his replacement is done. He's going to have a job again in football
I don't
because it's
think-
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah.
But no. I'll be honest. Without
I mean,
extreme cases, whatever any of the class of '92 do, they're going to have a job in football.
I mean,
forever.
let's be honest. If Joey Barton can still get a job, there's hope for Giggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, there you go.
That's decent.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it.
I will say one more thing.
Of course.
Naki Wells. If you're 3-1 down at home, do not Panenka a penalty in this.
That was so funny.
Well, there we go. I'm sure it feels good to get that off your chest finally, Matt. Yeah, that wraps it up. Once again, it's flown by, that has. Oh,
Yeah,
really,
it has,
really
yeah.
enjoyed
It's
that,
been
guys.
great.
You know,
Been great, guys.
my thanks to Matt, Liam, Rowan, Jake, and of course Drake in the producing booth.
Cheers, Drake.
We will get him in
Key
it one
element
day.
of the podcast.
He has a lot to talk about. You know,
Yeah, we'll have to get him in to talk about
Yeah.
the American sports.
yeah.
Definitely.
We'll
Do
get
an
him in.
American special or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as for right now, we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much for listening. We hope to see you next time, and yeah, farewell.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.